Hello. Who's here? Say hello if you're here. Be nice to speak to you. I'll jump onto Discord in a little while. I need to get my apron on. Where have I put it? Oh. Who've we got? Don't be shy. Say hello. I'll talk through the colours in a sec. I'm probably going to use my same palette as I did in this this afternoon's class, to be honest, because it's basically the same colours with the addition of crimson or carmine. So that's good. I've got my microphone stuck. Everything's a fiddle. Nothing's working. Oh. And I am on Discord. Hello. Hello, hello. How are we? I'm alright. Okay. Well, yes? I did, and I haven't done it just in case anybody else didn't. So that's fine. So you've done it. That's good. I'll do it now. No, it's the right lesson. But I find that I never know exactly who's going to be joining, so yeah, no. I am going to do it now. Oh, am I? Oh, are you, am I breaking up, or am I or is it my the rattling of my packet? Oh, that's weird. Oh, it wasn't anything exciting. Hello? Hello? Oh, I've got... What's that? Are you there? Let me go back in. Boom, 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 boom. Right, I'm going to try again. Hello. Anybody? Hello? 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 I can't hear anybody now. I can hear you. I can hear you, but I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Anybody know? Hello? Hello? any better? Hello? Oh, dear me. I'm going to go... Let me move off that. I'm going to go onto my laptop. This is silly. It was working fine earlier. Boom. Hello, can you hear me now? No. Can't be the Wi-Fi, surely. No. Right, so I've got white, burnt sienna, black, ultramarine, cerulean, cadmium yellow, and crimson or carmine. Now I am going to paint the bottom strip black. I did say that's what to do before, but just in case we had anybody join us, I'm going to do it myself now. So that can dry while you're sketching out if you haven't sketched out already. Let's be really quick. Oh well. Oh well, hang on, I can hear you, but I haven't got Discord open.
Oh, I can hear you now, Barry.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
you're on now. Can hear you now.
I'm on the laptop.
Oh, it's gone again.
Oh, gone.
I'm on the laptop. I can hear me twice. How can I? I'm on the laptop. What's going on? Am I back?
You're back.
You're back.
Can you hear?
I had Facebook on because we couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
I think it's the internet.
Got a bad connection.
Yeah.
So you can hear me?
Yeah.
I think it is the internet because it took ages for the laptop to actually connect the voice. Which is weird because I would imagine that now is the quiet time that it should be, you know?
You think so?
Well, it depends if the United States are all online.
It's a weird thing. Wow.
It's not even like it's a weekend.
No, I know.
I have a question regarding shop acne, Barry.
Yes.
I know I've seen stuff on there before, but it seems to sometimes disappear and then reappear and then disappear and reappear.
Yes. Yes, it's stock levels. So when I'm out of stock, you won't be able to find it on there.
So you've got no half pans at all in any colour because there's nothing on there.
Yeah, the issue that the Shop Appy thing has is that I cannot control the stock levels of individual colours.
Oh, I see.
So if I put I've probably got about 70 colours, well 70 items of those half pans in stock, but if I put 70 and somebody wants to order 70 of one colour, I haven't got nowhere near enough because I've only got 3 of each colour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have to keep the stock levels really low, um, just so people can't order multiples of one thing that I haven't got. That when they do their improvement, that's what they're trying to fix for me, because we're the only shop that they deal with so far that has this issue, because all the other shops have single items, so it's difficult for us that we've got multiple items that are exactly the same but just a different colour. Um, I have got them in stock. The other issue is that they tell me that I'm low on stock items, but they don't tell me what I'm low on. The link doesn't work while it's being upgraded, so I have no idea. I then have to trawl through about 500 items to work out which is out of stock, and I've just had the notification this afternoon that I'm low on stock, but I've not had a chance to have a look yet. So yeah, I leave it with me, and I will readjust the stock levels. Because what colour were you after?
I was after ultramarine, but I was also after the one just mentioned and I saw it, but at the time I didn't want to order it because it was just that one thing I wanted. But now I want more things. I thought, oh, I'll get everything in one go and then it'd be less hassle.
Mhm.
It was one of those. It was a watercolor book for students or something. The practice one.
Oh yeah, we haven't got any of those in stock.
Okay, I
We've totally sold out of those, and we can only get them from one supplier in the whole UK, and we have to spend £300 with them. So um, we won't be getting them in for a while. Um, and I don't know. I think ultramarine is the one colour that I can't get in at the moment. Windsor and Newton are not fulfilling any obligations at the moment. Every single supplier in the UK is out of stock of Windsor and Newton products. Um, they've not manufactured anywhere near enough to supply to all of their suppliers. And generally, the way their chain works is they'll supply all the online sellers and all the huge stores, then they'll supply um, the wholesalers, who then supply us. So we're last in the line all the time
okay, what I might do is buy a tube.
and fill it in. Yeah,
Yeah,
um,
fill it in.
yeah, that's probably your best option, to be quite honest. It's frustrating because obviously lockdown finished on the 16th of June, and they still haven't manufactured half of the stuff that they're supposed to. I've made several complaints now to our wholesalers because we've had a back to school brochure full of stuff. Went to order at least 20 items. They're out of stock of all of them. And I only had the brochure that morning, so that's how desperate art shops are at the moment for items. Um, it really is annoying because it shouldn't be at this point. You know, the largest one of the largest manufacturers of paint in the UK and the world should not be out of stock of basic stuff. Um, but yeah, it's an issue.
Yeah, I'll order different watercolor paper then.
Yeah, do because I don't know when that is, because that's Clairefontaine and
I can't remember the brand.
yeah, it's Gold Line, but we have to get it through Clairefontaine. We're due to see the rep soon, I think, but we have to add that on with other stuff. But those watercolor pads are so popular, they usually run out of them before we can reorder them, because we normally only get them in at Christmas. Um, this is the problem, and it's what happened with the supermarkets. All of these massive global conglomerates only order just enough, so they don't make surplus anymore, so they're not carrying a lot of stock at any one time. And so that's why, like during lockdown, all the supermarkets ran out of food. They can't cope with a 10%, even a 10% increase in demand. And the suppliers are exactly the same in the art world. They won't keep spare stock on the shelves just in case. However, the knock-on effect of that is that people who want it can't get it.
Yeah.
And then they buy something else, and then they don't need it again for a while, or at all. So it's really annoying.
I'll order the tube of aquamarine,
Yeah, that's good.
and then I'll order another some running sold to run out of my watercolor paper.
Okay.
I had other stuff I wanted to order, and I didn't want to just order two or three things, and then because I'm on lockdown, I might just order to come here to
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's cool.
I'll do it later then.
Excellent. Right, I'm just going to wash my brush and then I will be back. That should be dry. It's nearly dry. Are you painted, Nick?
Yeah,
So it's the same colours as this afternoon, which is the both blues, cadmium yellow, maybe a bit of burnt sienna, I've not decided yet, white, black and crimson or carmine, which is your cool red depending on the set. So it's warm blue, cool blue, warm yellow, cool red, black and white. I don't actually think we'll need burnt sienna. I don't know why I squeezed it out. It's because it was on my plate already.
Well, I've got in tubes, so at the moment, I'll see how it goes.
Yeah, don't bother squeezing your burnt sienna out unless you have to.
I usually just squeeze it then when I need
Squeeze it when you need it, yeah. Good plan.
I'm lazy actually.
Well, it's not lazy, no, because you don't want to waste any. You don't want to waste any at all. I don't think we've got anybody else joining us, have we?
I think I would have joined by now.
I would have thought so. I would have hoped so.
These hexagonal graphite crayons, are those the graphite sticks you're talking about?
They're not the Caran d'Ache ones, but they are graphite, solid graphite pencils. They're quite chunky. They're the size of your thumb.
yeah, they're quite good.
Yeah, because you were mentioning about dating when using stuff.
Yeah,
so
they're useful for that.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't actually a crayon as in a wax crayon.
No, graphite. They're pencils. Right, so let's get a bit of sky on. We'll put a bit of the blue. And what's interesting, have you noticed at the bottom sky, it's kind of green, isn't it? Bottom left.
Yeah,
You don't normally get green sky, but we have here. What I want to do is I'm just going to use my big brush. And I'm going to mix. This is still my same palette from this afternoon. Mix a bit of cerulean and ultramarine together. And a bit of white. Don't need much at all with this. I'm actually, yeah, tiny bit more white, I think. And do I want a bit more ultramarine? Maybe a bit more ultramarine.
So what colour do you mix in the two blues?
The two blues and a bit of white. And I'm actually putting, I wouldn't normally do this, but because there's so little blue in this scene, it's much easier to put the blue sky in and then put the clouds around it. Oh, we've not got Sarah tonight, have we? Did we have her last week? No.
I don't know. No. My cerulean is very turquoisey.
Yeah, that's why we're mixing it with the ultramarine.
Just checking. I don't trust some of these brands.
Yeah, cerulean blue is a green-based blue, so it is going to be more turquoisey or teal than like ultramarine or something like that. So I've stabbed it on, but then I'm just brushing it left to right just to soften. Put a little bit more blue, a bit more white. And then I'll let it dry. And I think I'll probably move to a smaller flat than this one. For the clouds, yeah, let's go with that one. I'm gonna, while this is dry, I'm gonna quickly nip downstairs to see if I have got any ultramarine half pans in, and I'll quickly readjust the stock levels so you can get in quick.
Choose what you call them. I just was wondering if there was a reason why it wasn't there.
We have got ultramarine. It's Payne's Grey I'm not sure about.
I've got Payne's Grey, a brand new one in total this year.
Excellent. So I'll readjust the stock levels in a bit, but my internet, you can tell how bad my internet is. I've lost my live stream here. So I can't even see who's watching or anything. So good. So I'm sort of painting blind here because I can still see my screen that I'm using, but I can't see the live stream, which is going to be one of those days, I think. Right, so I'm going to work on the lower part, and I'm not having it green, and it's going to be yellow and white. Cadmium yellow. It's the only yellow we're going to use tonight.
Ochre yellow?
A middle yellow, or it's got to be quite orangey.
This one's ochre yellow and I've got orange.
Have you got a lemon?
I've got lemon, yeah.
If you mix your lemon with your orange, you'll get a sort of version of this, I think. Yes.
Sorry, lemon and what?
No, cad. You're using cad. Sandra's got to use lemon because she hasn't got the other one, so it's cadmium yellow.
Just with white?
Yeah. A little bit stronger where I want the stronger yellow where I want the glow of the sun.
Is that more white in colour with that one? Sorry.
For what, sorry?
More white than...
You want it quite yellow where the glow is, but then you want it to sort of fade out a little bit towards the left hand side.
My orange is very orange. You can only give me a ton of white in it.
And then I'm going to use, I am going to use some white, neat white, and I'm going to stab that on where it goes over the blue for the clouds, and I'm stabbing it to get that sort of cloud texture. And the reason why I'm putting the white on is so when we put the yellow clouds over the top, they're not going to look too weird. I'm by stabbing the brush, you get that sort of soft, cloudy feel. Don't need to do it all over, it's just on the strip where it meets the blue. It sort of helps tie it in a little bit.
Is that white you're using, Barry?
Just white, yeah.
The thing I've got a huge trouble though, because to make that yellow, I had to use almost a tube of white paint.
Oh no.
Well, I've got a big 200ml bottle, but because of the fact I didn't realise the orange was so orange. And it was just way too dark.
See, I might do the grey clouds next, then we can stipple the yellow over the top.
I think my brushes are a bit too hard, flat, to give a soft texture for clouds.
Yeah, you want it a little bit soft. Especially, or stabby, at least stabby.
Yeah.
You want it. You could use a fan brush. A fan brush would work for this.
Now I've got a, it's a 12 flat brush, but I don't think it's a size 12 because it's quite small. It's like the size of my index finger, the width.
Yeah, brush sizes are weird.
But I'm using it on this side, it's giving a more softer touch.
Yeah. So while I've got my white on my brush, I'm going to mix a sort of grey with ultramarine, a little bit of burnt sienna, and I am going to put a pinhead of crimson in there. I'll probably make darker tones later, and I haven't mixed anywhere near enough of this. So what's that? Ultramarine, burnt sienna. So I do need burnt sienna, I was right.
Good thing I've got it.
Or any brown.
Ultramarine and burnt sienna.
Yeah, and then I've added a tiny bit of crimson in there just to balance it out when we which reds? You got two reds?
Yeah, deep red and vermilion.
Deep red. You want deep red for this? Yeah, you want more purple reds for today. Yes. So I'm just adding varying tints of brown, greys and whites. Slightly darker up the top and sides.
Stabbing it on again.
Yeah. Stabby stab.
That's way too dark.
What, yours is way too dark?
Yeah, mine's like a aubergine brown colour.
Yeah, you want it more of a grey. But play around with white and until you get a colour that you're fairly happy with. And then obviously I'm adding varying tones of white to this as well, so it's not just grey. It's not just dark grey or anything like that.
Mine seems to work when I add white to it.
Yeah, white's a useful colour for clouds in this bit as well, because it adds a bit of variation and depth. But I mean, if you look at the picture, look how dark it is and how blue black it is on the top left hand side, top right hand side. I will get that right one day. So you can make that with a lot of ultramarine and a bit of burnt sienna. So really I don't think I've got anywhere enough ultramarine for tonight. Because the lavender fields are going to be quite ultramarine as well. But I'm not cleaning my brush while I'm mixing. I'm keeping it fairly loose. So if I press down a little bit harder, I've got tones of a previous grey mix. So there's several greys going on at any one time in this little brush. And I still can't cover all of the flipping canvas up. I was having that problem this morning. I think it's because it's warm in here today. But it'll look totally different once the yellow highlights are on. Because obviously this is just the darker bits that we're adding at the moment. Yeah, the white's going to be yellow, you see. But if you've stippled on a bit of the grey, it doesn't really matter. It's a little bit lighter towards the lower part and towards the sun. I don't want to spend too long on the sky, but we do need to, you know, it is a lavender field at sunset, so we don't want to forget that we've got a lavender field to add. But I'm going to clean my brush, let that dry briefly so we can put the yellow clouds on. So you can see actually how the camera's sort of freaking out at the moment because of how much glow we've got, sort of because of this black black bottom. For some reason, I don't seem to have enough room on my table today. Right, now let me try mixing a bit of yellow and white together for my yellow clouds highlights. Now, I'm hoping that I can I reckon you're going to do a good one of these, Nick.
You think?
Yeah. It's your kind of thing because it's a bit dramatic, isn't it?
I'm not too happy with the clouds at the moment.
Wait till your golden yellow goes on. You might even cry because it'll be that amazing.
She's just in white and yellow, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if you're a little bit hesitant, you can always just add, add more white to the mix, and then,
Yellow again,
increase your yellow if you need to. And it almost makes a Naples yellow when you add cadmium yellow and white, because that's how some art companies still make cadmium yellow, funnily enough. Naples yellow. Can't speak today. No, it's because the camera reacts to the light. Because I've got a lot of black on.
Yeah.
See, look, if I cover the black up with my arm, you should be able to see more of the yellow show through.
Oh yeah. Because we can't. I couldn't figure out. I could see your dabbing, but all I could see was white.
Let's change the light in and see if that makes a difference. No, even with my light off. Oh, that helps a little bit. The light's off and my arm's covering the black.
See it more because I could see you putting the yellow on, but you could, definitely can see it better now.
See, I might go darker with the darker parts of the clouds later, but I won't know because we were using a lot of darks this afternoon, and I said that it would be really hard to work out if your lights were light enough or what have you until the rest of the painting was on. So if I moved my arm now, you'll see that it will bleach out because it doesn't like the contrast. Now, in some respects, that's good. It tells me that I'm doing a good job in changing the light, so I'm making a nice sunset. And I am just going to use a little bit of white to paint a white circle in that yellow as the sun. Really tiny.
Let's do that yellower.
Yellow, which bit? Your clouds or around the sun?
No, the sun.
It does make a difference, so I would recommend it. Just need to put a few. I wanted to put a few more grey clouds around here because I haven't really got very many. I'm not going to do the sun rays coming off it yet, because we'll do that when everything's painted. I will be stippling some black trees and bushes in the distance. Then we can work on the fields, then we can work on the trees, then we can work on the glow. All in the next hour and 15 minutes. We can do this.
Why do my clouds not look like clouds?
Are they random enough?
It's not that. It's the shapes. It's just they don't look cloud-like. And it's not just in acrylics. I find it in any medium. My clouds don't look like clouds. The only time I've
And what do you think was the difference in that?
Because it's soft and you can kind of blend it with your finger and make it blend fade out pastels. I don't know.
We'll see how you get on, because you can always add more to it once the rest of the picture's on. It can change dramatically over the next, well, half hour, I reckon.
I mean, watercolor, I've kind of figured out with the swirl brush, it's easy to make the clouds look like clouds.
Yeah.
It's just now I need to get the hang of it. This looks like I threw paint on the canvas and just where it landed, that's where it is. And I've got paint all over my hands. And the marble.
Where's my? I'm going to use my old scrappy flat brush, so I can put a few black trees and bushes, because it's very random and boring. But we need to set the scene. This is my lovely old brush that's really ruined, but it's perfect. Perfect for old distant trees and bushes, this is.
Neat black.
Yeah, neat black. And again, a bit like the clouds, it's trying to be random. In height and shape and form. So they feel like different groups of trees, and also so they don't look like I've just used a scratty little brush to do all of them. I want them to look like individual trees, and at the moment they look too contrived, so I'm gonna have to sort of probably use a thinner brush. Depends how fussy I want to be with them. Now that will change with the glow of the sun. Oh, that probably do, to be honest. Trouble is, this is such an old manky brush now, it's really hard to clean to get the colour out, because it goes and lodges in places that I'd rather it not.
Let's leave it safe for overnight.
Yeah.
Drastic one just bought of someone that was cleaning their brushes and they were in the glass, but they weren't touching the glass.
Horse, an elephant, and a calf next week.
Ooh,
That'll be fun.
I love a good elephant. That was our first acrylic painting.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, an elephant.
So I'm not going to do much more with anything at the moment.
Oh,
What? Have you dropped your brush?
no. Back in a sec.
Okay. So we'll be looking at doing the darker blue parts, the bluey purple parts of the lavender. I'll probably use my stabby brush for this actually. I'll maybe use it for most of the picture now because I've decided that's what I want to do. And that's what I'm going to do. How's it coming on, Sandra?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I lost sound. So were you doing something?
No, I've not done anything. I was just waiting for Nick to come back, really.
Okay. So the sound seemed to go, and then I got kicked out of Discord. So I didn't know if you were talking about because I've obviously got Facebook flip-flops.
No, I'm still here. I was just saying I'm going to use my little stabby brush for everything, well, for nearly everything, and the next bit will be to do the darker parts of the lavender fields, the sort of Well, no, actually, I think I need to do the green bits first, the grassy bits, then um, then the lavender, then the highlights. I think that's the best way to go.
There's only one thing I don't like about this shortcutting page is when I hit search, it doesn't. I know it exists, but it says it doesn't exist.
I know.
I put in ultramarine earlier, and it just says no. There's no such thing as ultramarine. I'm like, no, there is. There's acrylics, there's oils, there's fast drying oils.
Hello.
Hello, Nick.
Hello.
You hadn't missed anything. I'm just going to do the green bit next, the green grass bit. And I think I'm going to do cad yellow and ultramarine. Probably not going to add anything else in there. I'm using my little stabby brush. And that will be for the triangles of grass that I don't want to stand out too much, but that are sort of needed to set the scene. So your yellow and your blue. So it's a sort of dark olive green.
I'm wondering if I should cheat because I've got vermilion and I've got sap green.
I'd go with sap green and a maybe a bit of brown, since you've got it there.
Yeah, I might as well get rid of it.
Well, and because your yellows are slightly different, so
Yeah. As if my sap green actually has any heat in it. It's got dry. Considering it was closed. You said brown.
if I were you, I'd probably add a tiny little bit of brown.
And it's still sap green. It's more like dark green. Steady brush. Why is it drying if it was in a sealed tube?
I don't know. It shouldn't really.
Unless there's a hole in it somewhere that I can't see.
I want this to be quite muted. Right, I think it's 8 o'clock already. Oh yes, Celia. That's fine. You can join us whenever you want to. It's a nice one tonight. It's another one that will all come into play at the last 5 minutes. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
It looks too green on the black.
Add a bit of black into it then, because I mean, if you look at the photo, it is quite greeny grass, but there's bits of yellow and there's bits of dark in there. But it's just to help us set the scene ready for when we put the purples on.
Yeah, it's just that it's too artificially green. It's
Mm.
too artificial, so
So yeah, we'll have a quick That's a big sigh, Nick.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. No, the reason why it drops off is my daughter's puppy has just happened to be put down.
Oh,
Oh no.
what was it, parva?
Hmm?
Parvovirus or anything?
I don't know what it is. No idea. She's not said what the problem is
Oh,
yet.
that's really sad.
Oh.
She had to take him up to Solihull to intensive care.
Oh,
Literally find out just as the lesson was starting.
poor little thing.
Oh.
She just messaged. He was only crikey, a few weeks old.
Oh,
Oh, that's devastating.
It literally, obviously old enough to come away from
Mom.
his mum and that, but
Oh.
it really haven't had him long at all.
That is not.
oh, that's sad.
So yeah, right. I'll be back in 5 anyway.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Coffee break time. Right then. I think I'm going to use this flat brush instead. I'm going to do the darker parts of the lavender, which is mainly ultramarine, a little bit of the red, and there will be a little bit of white in there just to help it come forward. So ultramarine, a little bit of crimson, a little bit of white. Probably too much white now. No, it looks, no, it's not, Barry, it's fine. It'll be fine. And I'm sort of going to do this in an arc, but I need to display these a little bit more. There's more light coming from the right hand side.
Deep red I need, isn't it?
Yes, you need the deep red. We've got a sort of crimson colour.
Yeah, let me just make purple this time.
Well, that's handy.
Because last time I literally had to go and use the purple tube because I couldn't get purple. It just wasn't moving for me that day.
So this is a sort of under a lovely sort of shadowy blue that I haven't made enough of, that I've now got to make some more. Will I match it up? Probably not.
Mine's actually quite purple at the moment.
Mine's a bit, no, it's too pale. Probably bluer than I would have chosen.
And mine is more of a lavender purple at the moment.
Well, that's good because it's a lavender field we're doing. But I'm kind of looking at the blues, and then I'm going to put more of a highlight with the, you know, it's quite pinky, isn't it, that lavender on the top. So that's, but between each furrow, as I'm getting towards the right hand side, I'm leaving a black gap because the light can't get to it there. And the furrow, sorry,
Are you making it look round? Mine's black.
curve your brush as you're stabbing, do a bit of a curve, and make the left hand sides darker, because we've actually got the light source in the picture this time, which is very rare. We'll have a light source. Although I say that, nearly all of our Tuesday evening ones have had the sun or moon in. I must like to torture you all. And then as you get further across, it's quite blue in the shadows over this side. Because it's always, as everything is, it's always about painting what you can see, not what you think.
Right, I'm back. What are we doing?
Hello. I've just stippled on the darker part of the furrows, which is of the lavender, which is ultramarine, a tiny bit of crimson, and a little bit of white.
Crimson. That's
Cool red.
cool. For God's sake.
fuel. In fact, there seems to be a little bit of cerulean in here somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. This distant blue. It's just really interesting to see how the colours change. Bluebell woods are exactly the same, in that depending on the light, they either look orange or blue or pink.
That's very blue on your screen.
Yeah. If you look at the picture on right, oh, you can't see my hand and I can't go over it. On the very far right hand side, it's very blue, and then I'm going to stipple a purple, then I'm going to stipple the pink. So it's multi layers. If we can get multi layers done, it will look really great. But it is down to the time factor. And basically, to get the slightly lighter layer, you add more crimson. My carmine is a lot more transparent, is the word I'm after. Ruining these brushes. Fortunately, I ordered loads of these. We've got tons, so I can do one a painting. Yeah, because that's the last thing I stuck on. I've got, at the moment, I've got no way of ordering them in any sequence, so it just goes. It just goes by what you put on last. So don't forget, it's all about contrast, contrast, contrast. So I've added more of a purple, not that you can actually tell. But the key is darker on the left. I've really got to work my left and my rights out. I really have. Because it's embarrassing being in your 40s and not knowing which is which.
I think left-handed people are worse because they really struggle with the lefts and the rights.
I mean, I know I'm right-handed, so I've got a paintbrush in my right hand. It really shouldn't be difficult for me. I mean, I occasionally will paint with the other one if I'm feeling like it. Sometimes I've got, if there's a few things that I need to do at the same time, I will put two brushes, a brush in each hand. But I think that's a bit show-offy, so I won't do it here. But it's good. It's a good party trick.
I can write with my left hand, but I don't think. Well, I have painted with my left hand where it's a bit. I want to paint an area that's a bit difficult to do with my right hand.
Yeah.
My left. But I am right-handed. But then my aunt is left-handed, so the key is there. Mine just looks like a blob of paint.
So you can see I'm starting to lighten it, but I'm keeping the left hand side darker, and then I'm going to do a lighter one now with just a bit of crimson, but I'll just let it dry a little bit, just a little bit. Oh, I've made myself a coffee and I've got a fan on. It's going to be cold. Turn the fan off. So, I mean, it's going to have a double fold. It's the sky we haven't got the rays of sun, and we haven't got the highlights on. So it's going to change quite rapidly once we do those things. We've got about 40 minutes. So actually, you know, that's not too bad because I've got the highlights to put on the lavender. Then there's the black tree, and then there's the glow, and the rays, and the beams, and all. I'm like, oh, you see, I'm really feeling all stuffy again now, and I think it's time for another antihistamine when I get home. I honestly cannot believe this. As I've got older, my hay fever has developed. They say you can get allergies and stuff when you're older, can't you? Just randomly.
Yeah, I found that I already was before, but as I get older, I found that I'm more and more intolerant to man-made fibers.
See, as I get older, I'm just more intolerant to people.
Well, that too.
Yeah,
Well, I'm intolerant of people that don't. What's the word I want? That don't have common sense.
there's a lot of them about.
Yeah. I'm intolerant of people that don't. I don't know what the word is. It's just the me people.
Yeah. I call them the opera singers. They go, me, 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 me.
There's no specific generation. I just call
No.
them
People who feel they're entitled, everybody owes them something,
yeah.
rather
A friend
than
of mine once posted, yeah, a friend of
giving
mine once
things
posted
back.
something on Facebook that was quite funny.
Come on.
It was a piece of paper, a writing paper, a yellow paper, a pencil and a pen, and there he had the list of anything that you're entitled to in life, and it was just if you're not entitled to anything, are we?
No, we're not.
I just thought, well, yeah, I agree with you there, but you have my support on that one.
Right, so this time I'm going with a lot of crimson, a little bit of blue, and a tiny bit of white.
You're going light tonight.
Yeah, so this is the real light highlights.
I think I'm just going to add white to mine, because mine's already purple.
Yeah, but go with more of the red. So it's a very reddish colour.
This white is almost water white. So every time I put a drop of white, half the bottle comes out. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but that's what it feels like. I suppose it's poster paint, so
I might use a thinner brush just to do a few actual blobs. So it's more random rather than. I mean, it is in rows. We know it's in fields and and that kind of thing. But just so all the lavender doesn't look exactly the same height and shape, I'm just going to blob it up a little bit.
I think I put too much red because now it looks a bit magenta.
Well, I mean, if you look at the photo, it is quite red in places where the sun is really hitting it.
Yeah.
So let me clean that brush now.
Yeah, that's better. Still reddy, but it's more purpley red.
My lavender's awful this year. I lost.
You're painting or all the ones in the garden?
Yeah, the ones in my garden. I lost quite a few the year before. It just wouldn't. They all died. I was trying to water them, but not too much.
I think lavender is quite hard to grow from what I've heard.
But I've had some in a pot that I've had in a trough that I've had for years and years and years, and that's fine. Whereas any new lavender I buy just won't grow. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong with it.
Maybe it's the pot.
Yeah, I'll blame anything apart from myself.
Why is mine not stippling? It's just blobbing.
I don't know.
Maybe it's got brush, it's the paint, my hand.
It might be that your paint's a bit. If your paint's runny, that might be the issue.
No, I'm not even putting any water in it.
Okay, I don't know. Is the undercolour dry?
Kind of. But even when it's dry, it blobs. Maybe it's me. I'm blobbing today.
Yeah, Thursday morning's very blobby because we're painting like Monet on Thursday morning in acrylics, so that'll be quite fun and different. I've not decided which one to do.
Is Monet the one that usually does the water scenes?
Yeah, the water lilies. He's done loads of different ones, but the water lilies is what people tend to think he did.
I know he's done more with, like you say, that's the one that kind of comes to mind.
Yeah.
Try my brush out. Yeah. My brush was too wet.
Right, this isn't going too badly so far. I've still got plenty of time to ruin this, but so far not disgustingly awful.
So it's just a light pink again, was it?
Yeah, but almost neat pinky colour and a little bit of white. I might glaze yellow over it later when we do the sun rays. But for now, just stick to the lavender colour.
Carrie's on a hairbrush hat. Hairdryer, I mean.
Right, so you can see that the blues are quite hidden, and then there's quite a lot of stippling going on tonight because when I get to do the foliage on the trees, I'm going to be stippling that in black, and yeah, it's a very stipply picture today. And I'm constantly looking and potentially readjusting so the dark bits don't look out of place. I might have to do a bit of tonal like black wash over some of the grassy bits because of I don't know, it just doesn't look quite right. I'm going to give myself a couple more minutes of playing around with the lavender. I think it's good to limit the playtime. I mean, it's good to explore and what have you, but or try something out or add a new tone and see if that works how you want it to. But at the end of the day, it may not make it any better. So you have to limit your losing yourself in your art time.
Particularly enjoying this one.
You're not.
No, not happy with the lavender. Well, I'm not really concentrating on it, which doesn't
Well, exactly, that's it. Your mind's not really on it tonight.
Hmm?
Your heart's not in it either, I don't think.
No, not at the moment.
Yeah, that will affect it as well, actually.
Yep, she ain't wrong.
Let's take a picture and see what it looks like on the screen.
Right, then I'm going to do my trees next. Just a thin runny black with a thin brush. And then I might use a detail brush for that. And I mean, you could use a pen actually, if you've got one. You made a drink half an hour ago. Don't forget to drink it.
Mine looks nice, Nick. Better than mine.
Have you posted it? Where have you posted
Yours
it?
is nicer than mine. Looks like a portable.
Oh, that is nice.
Mine.
It's not how I wanted it to go though. So
But don't forget when you've got a once you've seen this and the lesson's gone and you're feeling a bit more yourself, you can always come and tweak it and make it how you want it.
yeah.
That said, there are very few paintings that I do go back and paint again, or paint over. There's one that I'm actually going to do at some point in between doing commissions and bits, because it hasn't sold and it's really quite big, and I've had an idea what I can do with it to try and get it gone.
Which one's that one?
It's the big pink close-up of a dahlia on a wooden panel.
Is that the one that was in the classroom?
Yeah, and I've been looking at it today and thinking, oh, I know what I can do to you to make it do.
Using a really fine brush now.
Yeah, I'm just doing the branches, and then I'm the stipple the foliage on. I think that's, and I think I said that this morning, and I do say it a lot in the classes. I think one of the hardest things in any medium is to get the paint fluid enough and dark enough, or enough colour, because when you dilute it, you end up reducing the colour. So you've either got it really runny and pale, or really dark and thick. It's so difficult to get a happy balance with it. It does come with a lot of practice, but it's annoying. So it's annoying for people who, oh, just shoved that right in. I thought it was hard, but it wasn't hard paint, and I just shoved my brush in it.
What the hell? You stippling again?
Yeah, I'm stippling to get the foliage on this. It's a very stipply picture today.
No, see with the black, it's been really nicely and stipply. With the lavender, it wasn't.
Oh, weird.
It's the same brush.
It's got to be it's paint consistency then, hasn't it? Must be.
Probably.
So I'm hoping that the glow will look amazing soon. Just waiting for it to dry a little bit. I mean, the good thing is we haven't got to do anything on the trees with the glow. It is just all about the rays and the light hitting the lavender. Now I need to find a good brush for this. Oh, there's a fill bit. Oh, I like a nice fill bit. Small flat's quite nice because we're gonna sort of
Is it the white, yellow, orange you're going to use?
I'm just using the neat yellow. Do you know what? I'm going to change my water. And I hardly ever do this in acrylics, but I need a clean yellow, not a filthy grey one. So I'm going to go clean my water. Be back in a sec.
I might take advantage of you the same.
noticed my brush was making the yellow quite a horrid colour. Oh, that's nice. So that's better. I'm going to make a glaze. I'm just going to sort of just touch the areas I want the sun to touch. So it's basically exactly like the sun would do. So don't forget, a glaze is a transparent wash of colour. So it just slightly tints or interferes with the colour that's underneath it without changing it too much. Because obviously we still want it to look like lavender, we just want the evening sun to be giving it a bit of a kiss.
Is that just
that's too watery.
yellow, is it?
Just really runny yellow, yeah.
How do you get it to stipple when it's really runny?
It's not really that stipply, if I'm honest. It's more of a blob.
Like blob. Like wet blobs. I actually do it with my finger, it's better.
Yeah, your finger would work.
Did you say you've done it runny?
Yeah, fairly runny. It doesn't look that runny, but I have. I've made a glaze out of it. But this cadmium yellow, for some reason, seems to be quite opaque, which is normally a wonderful thing.
I think I've just messed it up.
Dab it off with a bit of kitchen roll.
So I'm doing.
If in doubt, get the kitchen roll out. That's the... Right now, can I do these sun's rays? Or is this going to be the bit where I go, oh, you know what? Let's go home.
And now it's stippling.
Need to wipe out those trees. It's kind of working. Do you know what I do know this because I do it, but it's very rare that I've actually witnessed it. That when you're doing rays like this, there's always one long, one short, one long, one short. It's really bizarre.
That is just a wash again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit stronger. You know, I don't know if my sun's too high. And I need it to...
Right on the,
Yeah, I haven't, and I'm going to. I'm going to paint it out, and I'm going to put it lower. Add a tiny weeny bit of white to it, Nick. but not much. I'm just adding a slightly stronger yellow on some of these clouds. Well, I'm just waiting for it to dry so I can put to get the hairdryer on it. I can put my sun back in, but lower down because it was too high up. I don't know whether to add a little bit of white to the very inner part of these rays. I'm laughing because I know exactly what you mean, because I was thinking a bit similar myself. What I think I might do is put a little bit of a pinky wash. So I've added a bit of red and yellow just to glaze some of the bushes that are nearer to the sun, so they've got a bit more of a glow to them, because it kind of bleaches some of them out, and then the rest, it's got more of a pink tone to it, but that is optional.
Just on the tops, just the ones near the sun?
Yeah, the ones near the sun. Now I think, and I did say I might have to do this, my grass colour is a bit too bright, so I need to just dull it down a fraction.
I think yours is quite grey. You should see mine.
Oh. But just a little bit of a black wash will push it back and still keep it green. fact, I might even use a bit of this wash on the lavender towards the right hand side, just so it feels like the light's leaving us. Maybe I'll use a bit of a black glaze in the sky to balance it out, because that top right hand side needs to be a bit darker. So all of this is just really dilute black, because don't forget, we always say, when I say we, I mean me, that the brighter your brights are works, because your darks are darker. So don't be afraid to darken your darks. I mean, don't go too mad with them, but a few darker tones within this colour using a grey wash isn't a bad thing. It should help the glow.
Any reason why my canvas is like curling up?
Sounds too wet, so it reacts in the same way as paper. Don't think I am going to do any more. I did toy with the idea of putting a little bit of orange in the sky, but a glaze of the red, but I don't know if it's needed. I don't know. What do you think?
Mine's quite yellow as it is, so I don't think I'll...
Yeah, I don't know if it needs to be yellow or a bit pinky. Let me...
I think I'm going to stop.
Yeah, I think I'm only going to be ruining this if I do much more or any more. I'll take the photo later when it's totally dry and post it up. But it's it's kind of done what I wanted it to, so that's good in terms of the lesson. But yeah, so it's drawing the elephant and calf next Tuesday evening, which will be quite nice. So I think it's a good time to call it a day, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, thank you. Right, take care.
Thank you.
See you all soon. Yeah, all right. Take care, you guys.
Cheers,
See you
guys.
later.
Bye.
Bye.